Hey everybody, it's Wednesday and we're gonna talk about what happened last week. So let's roll the intro. Last week we took locals with a 3-0 record. We played against Carter's Phantom Knights, Brandon's Salamangrates, and we played against Ian in the last round with Mayutans, if I'm horribly mispronouncing that. Going into this week, I don't really think we need to do a lot of testing, but we will probably hop on at some point over the next couple days and make some changes to the deck. I know I want to mess around with the Crocosaurus, the Ravenous Rex, the level 9 Synchro, and Gossip Shadow. I'm really excited to see what we're going with this deck, and I'm super pumped to potentially take back-to-back tops at the locals. I'm really enjoying this deck, and we're just going to keep playing it, and it's just... Alrighty, so it is Saturday morning, and we are getting ready to head out to work and go play cards in the tournament after. We did come in first last week, looking to keep that momentum going. We're not really making a ton of changes to the deck this week. We are going to mess around and play test with something, with a couple things. We're hopefully going to be able to pick them up tonight from Mario. I'm pretty sure he has both of these. So we're just going to show you what we're thinking about. So we're lacking a Zeus in the extra deck, right? So what we're thinking about is adding some extra deck space. We have some extra deck space to work with. So we're going to play test tonight with a Ravenous Croco Dragon Architect. I pronounced that horribly. It's a level 9. It's 1 tuner, 1 non-tuner. It gains 500 attack and defense for each card in my hand. And you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If it's Synchro Summon, I can draw a card equal to the number of non-tuners used for this Synchro Summon. So I can either make this with Gigi, a non-tuner Nan, and Lulu, or I can make it with a 6 and a 3. So we're going to be able to draw 1 or 2 cards. And then as a quick effect, I can discard 2 cards, then target 1 card on the field and destroy it. It's another level 9 in our arsenal. Again, we're not running Zeus, so we could get away from it. The other thing we are looking at is number 75, Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. It is a 2 level 3 monsters. Once per turn, when an opponent's monsters effect activate, opponent's monsters activate its effect, a quick effect. I can detach 2 materials. The activated effect becomes both players draw 1 card. You can target 1 other number XYZ monster you control, attach to this card as a material, transfer its materials to the monster, and you can only use this effect of Bamboozling Gossip Shadow once per turn. Now, we don't actually have any other number cards in our extra deck, so we're not going to make use of that second effect, but being able to stop a really critical effect by detaching and letting us draw an extra card is something we definitely want to experiment with going forward with this deck. So that is the play that we're making. That is what we want to try, and we'll let you guys know how it goes. So let's go. Hey everybody, what is going on? So this past Saturday we went to Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals. We were aiming for our second top with Virtual Worlds, and we did it, but we didn't do it, and I will explain that as we go. But yeah, no, had a really good time. I think we had like 12 people there. Some guys came down from Peterborough. It was really cool. So it was a much bigger tournament than what we had last week, but I was still feeling very confident going into it. We did make some additions to our extra deck in Croco Dragon and Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. So really interested to see how those attacks work, and we're just going to hop right in and we're going to talk about the tournament itself. Now in the first round, I didn't get to record. I couldn't quite get my stand, my mount on the table to record the game. But we played against Jordan and Prank Kids. Round 1, he opened, and he ended his turn on the Water Fusion and Bow Wow Bark. So on my turn, we just went off. We did some stuff. We got our Shen Shen out. We cleared his field, and he torrentialed us, but we were still able to play through and get cards out to stop him from doing stuff, and we were able to take round 1 relatively quickly. Round 2, I opened the hottest of garbage. We opened Phantasme, Gamma, Chuche, Strike, and Lao Lao. Not much I could do with this hand at all. On his turn, he went first. On his turn, he started to link off. I chained Phantasme to draw some cards, and I drew into Gamma and Driver. Gamma and Driver. So not a lot happened there, and we lost relatively quickly. Game 3, we sided out again, and we sided in what are they called? Anti-Spell Fragrances, and our opening hand was Anti-Spell Fragrance, Lulu, Gigi, and Ash Blossom, and Gamma. So we were able to end our turn off with the set Spell Fragrance, and we ended off with Caliga and Crystal Wing. And so we were really able to shut him down. He couldn't really do anything for a lot of turns. We just sat there and we just poked with Crystal Wing. He set a bunch of back row, so we just sat and poked with Crystal Wing because his deck was playing stuff like Torrential Tribute and Solemn Warning. So we were just kind of like sitting and playing around that, poking him with the Crystal Wing, negating Prank Kids effects when we needed to, and we just took the game. That was round 1. So really good. It's this is the second time I think I've played Jordan at locals. The first time I was playing the Poker Nights, and we lost horribly. So it was really nice to get that win back and start off the tournament with a win. Definitely the attitude we want going for this whole event. So round 2, we had the chance to record, but unfortunately the table we were sitting at, the glare on my side of the field is so bad you can't actually see what I'm playing, which makes me really sad, really sad, because round 2 we played against Ruggles. For those of you who know and have watched the previous parts of this journey, Ruggles is a huge inspiration about not only why we started recording this, but why I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Again in general. His Return to Yu-Gi-Oh! Series is like so good, so fantastic, and I've loved watching Sealed Only 1v1 with him and Mario. This is the first time in almost a decade, maybe over a decade, that Ruggles and I had a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I believe the last time we played Yu-Gi-Oh! Was in the Monarch format when a Perfect Circle was a thing. So that's old. That is how old. That is how long has passed since the last time we played Yu-Gi-Oh! Together. And I was really looking forward. This is the match that I've wanted to play since I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! And I haven't been able to do it because we got hit by COVID, so nobody was playing. And then when we got back into it, we were playing Poker Nights, and so it was really hard for us to build any kind of winning momentum. So I was really excited for this, and especially when we sat down and I realized he was playing Heroes. Now, history lesson with arrows. Ever since the Elemental Hero theme released in the Lost Millennium, when we only got Flame Wingman and Thunder Giant, I have been playing Heroes. I've played Heroes off and on for its entirety. I am so good with the deck, and I've played every variation of it. I've played straight Fusion Heroes. I've played Little City with Skyscraper and Neos Aeolus and Captain Gold. I've played Big City with Hero City with Skyscraper 2, Hero City, Ocean, the Heat. I've played Rainbow Neos with Neospacians. I've played Neos in general with Neospacians. I've played a super ridiculous Miracle Fusion build back in the day when we got Kaias, and it ran Kaias and Jinzos, and it just controlled the field. I've played Destiny Heroes. I've played Masked Heroes. I've played every single hero variant out there. I kid you not. I even had a weird Chaosy variant where we splashed in Elemental Hero Neos and what is it? Reverse of Neos, the one that blows up the field when you bounce it back to your hand. I've even played that, and we've done well with that. So heroes are kind of my deck, and it makes me really sad that the archetype is so expensive now, because I would love to build it again and play it because I love the deck. I think Elemental Heroes is such a fun theme, and I've always enjoyed the artwork, I've always enjoyed the play style, and I've always enjoyed the support. So Ruggles is playing Heroes. I'm playing Virtual Worlds, which is quickly becoming one of my new favorite decks, and I was both very happy and a little sad with how these games went. So round one, I opted to go first. No, he went first. He went first round one, and he played Stratos, and I Ash Blossomed it. He had to end his turn, so I went next, and I made my board. We made the big board, and we pushed for game right off the bat. He had Cosmic Cyclone one of my cards, which was kind of sad, but it ended up letting us win the game. Game two, he went first, and he opens, and he only set one card, and it was Summon Limit. So after we normal summoned our Nan and special summoned our GG, he activated Summon Limit, kind of effectively ending my turn. He went next, and he played Stratos, but once again I had the Ash Blossom, and then I summoned a Lulu, normal summoned a Lulu, synchroed all three of them into the Croco Dragon, pitched 2 cards, drew 2 cards, and then pitched 2 cards to blow up his Summon Limit. Now, you're probably asking why I didn't just summon like Coral Dragon and pitch the card to blow up the Summon Limit. My hand wasn't the greatest. I had a lot of doubles that I couldn't do anything with. So being able to draw the 2 extra cards from the Croco Dragon actually helped us go into our plays, and we were able to make Shen Shen, we were able to make Vermilion Mech, and we were able to push for game. So bittersweet that our first game together in over 10 years was hampered by him not having a very good hand and me just opening really well. So it is what it is. I was super happy to play him again. Now that we're playing a competitive deck, I'm really hoping we can get more games in, hopefully at some better tables, so that I can actually show you guys the footage, because I have said for a long time, and anybody who knows me knows that I've said this, that in my opinion, for the longest time, Ruggles was one of the best, if not the best card player in my city. So it was really cool to be able to sit down and not just play, but afterwards reminisce on the past, talk about, where the game is now as opposed to where it was almost 10 years ago, talk about heroes, the new hero support that's coming out in Burst of Destiny. It was just really, really awesome. And no matter what happened for the rest of the night, I was happy because I got the match that I wanted. And even though it didn't end the way I wanted it to, well, it did because I won. Even though it didn't go the way I wanted it to get to my victory, it was really nice to be able to sit with a really old friend and just sit and talk about the game that I think we both have always loved, even though we've kind of dipped in and out of it over the years. So really good stuff. And we are sitting 2-0, and it's looking really good that we can take our second top spot in 2 weeks. So let's keep going. Game 3, we played against one of the guys coming down from Peterborough. His name was Justin, and he was playing Altergeist. Now, admittedly, this is a deck that I did not know a lot about going in, so I had to read a lot of his cards. So there's going to be a lot of card reading here. So we rolled the dice, and I believe I lost. No, I won. I won the die roll. Now I lost this game. I lost this match in total, and it was due to a large combination of A, my hands for both these games were not the greatest, but that's not an excuse. B, I did not know how to really combat against this deck, so I decided to go first because I felt that was like the best way to go about this. But my opening hand was not really overly usable. We opened a strike. We opened Quinlong. No, sorry, we opened a Chuche. We opened a... We just didn't open good. We only had to set one and pass. He played Extravagance. I banished 6 of his extra deck cards. And he drew 2. So right off the bat, he is ahead of us immensely in terms of play. We're not looking good here right off the bat. I had to double check to make sure I could count. So we set his banished stuff off to the side, and he drew 2 cards. Now, I'm not at this point. I don't really know what he's playing because there's a lot of decks that run Extravagance that don't require their extra deck. So he plays. Which one's that one? Hold on. So he opens up after his Extravagance with Altergeist Marionetter. And activates its effect to set 1 Altergeist trap directly from the deck. And we gamma it because we're good players. Unfortunately, it makes me sad that we couldn't gamma do stuff on our turn to use the gamma, because then we could have recycled it and used the extras, because as you know, we love drawing gammas. Then he set 4 back rows, and I believe he ends his turn. So my driver and gamma get banished. I draw for turn, and we activate Foolish Burial Goods, to which he activates, oh my god, what's it called? Anti-Spell Fragrance. I chain Emergency Teleport, to which he Solemn Judgments me. And like this deck is so heavy on the back row. And then he uses the chain to special summon Multi-Faker. Multi-Faker is going to let him special summon a card from his deck. As he explained. Now, again, he was the... I just want to give a shout out to Justin. He was super awesome. He let me read all of his cards. He explained to me everything that was happening, everything he was doing. It was really awesome, and I greatly appreciate it, because I'm still... Even though I'm playing Virtual World and I'm playing it well, it's very important to remember that I'm still really, really new to like competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. We got cut short because of COVID, so I missed a lot of like this stuff. So he was super awesome, and he showed me everything that he was doing. He activates a trap card that's going to let him bring back Multi-Faker, which he then uses to special summon Silquitus. I'm going to mispronounce these cards horribly. Lets me read it, because again, he was super awesome. Let me read everything he was doing. Let me know how all the cards were interacting with each other. So just another like huge shout out to him. He was really awesome. He was very patient with me, not really knowing how to combat with these cards, not really knowing if I could do anything with these cards. So we drew for our turn. And we had to normal summon Gigi. That's how badly this hand was going. I couldn't get any kind of board presence on the field. So we normal summon Gigi, and he activates Suquilus's ability. He bounces Multi-Faker and bounces my Gigi back to hand, to which I have to pass my turn. Then he activates Spoofing, puts Multi-Faker back in the deck to fetch another copy of Multi-Faker, I believe. Or no, maybe it's Marionetter. He fetches on special summons Multi-Faker because of the resolution of the trap. Uses its ability to search for Meluseek. And then he is... I believe we're coming up to the end of the game here now, because he plays another copy of Marionetter. No, that's not Marionetter. That's Titrio. No, that's Marionetter. Yeah, it's just... Yeah, Marionetter. And then he gets his... This is a trap card that prevents his Altergeist protocol. He plays it, so I can't stop their effects from activating. Yeah, the activation of Altergeist cards activated on my field, on his field, cannot be negated. So he's got a pretty solid board here. I've already taken some damage from the Multi-Faker. And I have nothing on the field, so what he's going to do now is he's going to link off... He's going to link off Meluseek and Sequila... I'm really bad at pronouncing these names. Silquitous to link summon for... As he thinks it through. He pretty much has game at this point. Like, there's nothing I can do. We have already taken damage, and we have paid for Solemn Strike. So we are in a bit of trouble. He link summons for Kidolga. Kidolga is going to let him special summon a monster from his graveyard when it does battle damage to me. As you can see, I'm reading it, and I'm really realizing at this point that we have lost this game. Again, combination of stuff, not really opening well. Not really opening at all to stop him from doing anything. And I'm very unexperienced from playing through back row disruption. There's not really a lot of that at my locals usually. But again, hats off to Justin. He was such a good player. He knew everything he was doing. Comboed up everything nicely. It really put me into a position where I couldn't do much of anything. Even if I had much of anything to do. So then he attacks me with Kidolga. Uses Kidolga's effect to bring back Marionetter. And then Marionetter, Multi-Faker. That is a game on the board, and we lost round 1. Going into round 2, I sided out some stuff, and I sided in 2 copies of a Twin Twister, 1 copy of Heartbeast Feather Duster, and 1 copy of Red Reboot. Knowing that he played a lot of spells and a lot of trap cards, I thought that was our best option to go. I chose to go first, and we opened just as badly as we did the first time. Yeah, so we play Quinlong. That's pretty much all we can do, and we go to use... Explain to him what Quinlong does. So my opening hand is Quinlong, Lily, and a bunch of other cards that I can't remember. So we use Quinlong to activate our Lily effect to special summon itself. I explained to him what it's doing, that we can send another copy of a different type of card, virtual world card, to the discard pile to special summon our monster. He lets that go. And now, for the record, I always feel the need to point out that even though I'm recording this, I could not see his hand while we were playing. Because I know when we're watching the recordings, we can see what they have in their hand. That is what it is. So he lets it go through. We send a copy of Zonwu, and we special summon Lily, and we go to use its effect, and I believe we get Effect Veilered here. He takes some time to read his cards. Remember, Yu-Gi-Oh players, always let people read your cards. It's just common courtesy. He read, we got Effect Veilered, and effectively ended our turn. We did send 1 copy of Chuche and 1 copy of Twin Twisters. He goes for his turn, and he plays Marionetter. He goes to activate the Marionetter effect. Sorry, not a copy of Chuche. We played a copy of Solemn Strike. So when he activates Marionetter's effect, we negate it with Strike. Take ourselves down 1,500. He sets 2 cards, and honestly, I really felt like I had a good opening here. So we play Twin Twister. We pop both of his back rows, which was fantastic. I'm feeling really good now. He has an open field. All I need to do is draw well, and we can go off and start making plays here. Unfortunately, I don't remember what we drew, but it was not good at all. So we just have to put our Lily into attack mode, and we attack. He sets one and passes, and I'm still feeling good. I'm still feeling like I have an opportunity to really take control of this game. Unfortunately, we just set a card and we attack. We knock out his Suaquilus, and then he says go. We pass turn again. He sets one back row and passes, and like I'm getting so many opportunities here to make plays, but we're not drawing anything that can be of help. So we did draw into a Qualoon. So we are gonna play said Qualoon. We activate Chuche, and we're activating Chuche so when we play Qualoon, we can get an attack boost off of it, because why not? And now, as we're thinking, because like this is hard. I've never been in this position before with Virtual Worlds where I drew such a bricky hand 2 games in a row. So we're kind of like I'm not panicking, but I'm not in a spot that I'm familiar with, which going forward is going to be good for me to like learn to get out of these spots as we go. So we activate our copy of Qualoon. We are going to use it to go and search for another copy of Chuche. But most importantly, when we're doing this, we want the ability to send the top 3 cards of our deck to our discard pile, because we need to get something going to make this play. We need to get something going. We have a ton of opportunity here because our opponent hasn't been able to do much on his turn. So we have the potential here to really get going and really do stuff. So we're going to use the other ability of Qualoon to banish send the top 3, and we literally send nothing that can help us. GG and double Lily. So right away, I've lost my other 2 Lilies, which is really good, which I like to use to go into stuff. So we're going to banish a copy of Zhan Wu. And we are going to attempt to special summon back out a Lily. I believe that was the play we were going to make here. Yes, a Lily. On that, he torrential tributes, and we are literally losing our advantage. What little of it that we had. The torrential was such a good play. I can't even be mad about it. And so he goes and he summons Meluseek. Attacks me with Meluseek. And then he targets my Quinlong, which is actually the best thing he could have done, because I can use Quinlong to feed Chuches to blow stuff up on the field. He Link summons into Link Kuriboh, using the ability of Meluseek to add 1 Altergeist monster to his hand. Except for Meluseek, and then he passes turn. We draw, and I believe we drew into Toto here. Not that we can do anything with said Toto. So we're going to banish Quinlong and attempt to use its effect to search for a card. We get Ash Blossomed. And again, I cannot stress how removing the Quinlong was the best thing he could have done. Because like I said, I could have used it to feed the Chuches, especially since I have cards in the Virtual World cards in. So we use Toto's ability to tribute summon it to normal summon it without tribute, because I don't have another monster on the field. And we attack over Link Kuriboh. He uses the effect to stop the damage, and then he draws. So like we're still feeling pretty good. He summons Marionetter and uses its ability to set, I believe he ends up setting Protocol here. I feel like that was the play he makes. He sets Altergeist Protocol. It might have been personal spoofing, but no, I think it had to have been. I think it had to have been Protocol. Yeah, it's Protocol. So he's starting to like. We've given him way too many turns where we weren't drawing anything to make up for him not drawing overly well early. So Marionetter goes into Toto. Why did I shuffle there? Okay. So now... Oh, right, because I used Chuche. I used Chuche to banish. Duh. I'm smart at this game. So I use Chuche to blow up Marionetter, and then he passes turn. And I know he's got Protocol set, and I don't know what his other set card is. So right now we're kind of stumped. So we're going to attempt to use Lao Lao. We're going to target Chuche. If this goes off, we can really use it to push ourselves. So we're going to send a copy of Nan Nan to the grave, which is smart, 'cause what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to bring out said Nan Nan. Now, at this point, I was torn about whether I wanted to go for Vermilion Dragon Mech and attempt to start popping back row, or whether I wanted to go for Shen Shen. So, because I didn't know what any of his back row was, we are going to opt to go for Dragon Mech, because I can pop stuff, and I don't want to have my Shen Shen be negated when I could hopefully make use of it later. That is my thought pattern here. So we were gonna go Shen Shen, but I really second guessed it, and I'm not mad at myself for going for Mech. I think Mech was the better play here. Unfortunately, Mech did get Solemn Judgmented, which is what it is. Doesn't really leave us a lot of options, so I believe we just swing in on the open life points for 12. Now, ironically enough, this is the better of the two games for us, because we are doing damage and we are, stopping him from doing some stuff. But at the end, it's just not helping, because I'm not getting anything that I can use to go with it, right? So I pass turn to him. He draws. He sets 1. Passes turn. I draw. Toto is putting in work here. Toto should never put in work, but Toto is putting in work here. So we are going to banish the Quinlong. He's going to activate Personal Spoofing, putting Sequilitus, I'm so bad at pronouncing that, back into the deck to get Multi-Faker. Of course, because the trap is resolving, when he has Multi-Faker in hand, he's able to special summon it. And he's doing all this on my turn. That is like the craziness of this. And he brings out Sequilitus, letting our thing go through still. So we are going to go into the deck for a Mahimi Lulu, I believe is the play that we opted to make here. Yes. So we do go into the deck for a Mahimi Lulu. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have just normal summoned the Lulu. Looking back on this game now, I probably should have just normal summoned Lulu. And then it would have been the better option if I just normal summoned Lulu and special summoned Nan Nan. Because see, right here, I'm really starting to realize that I'm kind of in a position here. Because now that Squealis is on the field and he can bounce whatever combo piece I go to play, we're really kind of dealing with... we're really starting to get into a real no-win situation here. And, like, this is where I think I made my biggest misplay. When I special summoned Mahime Lulu instead of normal summoning it. Because now if I had normal summoned it and he had gone to use Squatilis to bounce it back to hand, then I could have activated the effect and we could have gone off and we could have done some more stuff. But by using the effect here first, when it's played and it gets bounced to the hand, so now he's going to Ultrageist Protocol in Resolve. So now when we play it and I go to activate its effect, it's going to get bounced and we're going to be in a bit of precarious situations because, again, we've been stuck on this single Toto, which, for the record, Toto only has like 1,200 attack, so it's not doing much. Then he used Protocol. Yeah. So he used Protocol to negate the activation of my Mahime Lulu, and we're poking for damage with Toto. Toto was like the MVP here, so he drew, sets a card. Summons Marionetter, uses Marionetter to go back into his deck to get a trap card, an Altergeist trap card, to set it. Sets another protocol. So now he's like, we're kind of royally screwed here, you guys, because now he's got 2 negates on board. Marionetter runs over Toto. And then he activates spoofing. Sorry, what did he do there? Oh, so yeah, he targets Marionetter, sends it to the discard pile, and then special summons another monster from his graveyard. He brings back Multi-Faker, which is going to bring out another copy of Squilitus. I draw for turn, and it's game here at this point. I've lost. He's got 3 potential negates on the board. Squilitus, 2 negates, and Squilitus to bounce my monster back. There's nothing I can do. I'm sitting here, and I'm really kind of working this out myself. And yeah, I'm done. Shake hands, and that is that game. Again, huge thank you to Justin. He was so awesome, letting me read all of his cards, letting me ask all these questions. He was super patient with me, and I greatly appreciate that. It's players like this that really make me love this Yu-Gi-Oh game. So just another huge shout out to him for being such an awesome player and being very patient with me when I read through every single one of his cards numerous times. I greatly appreciate it. Round 4. So we're 2-1. Round 4, we played against Blake and his... Well, he's just playing a crazy, awesome, jumbled mess of chaos. But Blake and I are also really making a push to get into Final Fantasy. So Blake didn't think he'd make... For whatever reason, Blake didn't think he'd make top 4, I assume. So he offered me the win in order to play some Final Fantasy instead. So we sat down. So I beat Blake. And we sat down and we played some Final Fantasy, which was really awesome. Again, I'm really getting back into Final Fantasy. We're going to be going to a Final Fantasy tournament next week, hopefully, in Kingston with our... going to get to play a lot of new people, which is what I love about card games. Like, that is what... To me, that is what card games should always be about. A branch and an opportunity to meet new, awesome people. I met some new, awesome people at Mario's. Again, a huge shout out to Justin for being so patient with me, having to read literally every single one of his cards. I greatly appreciate that more than you could ever know. And again, it's players like you that really make playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And card games in general super fun, when you can be competitive but still be a cool guy about it. I greatly appreciate that, and thank you for that. So this is where we did make top 4, but we technically didn't make top 4. So I was in the middle of getting ready to record a Final Fantasy match with Blake, and they called the top 4. Now, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I was kind of done playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So we had to play Ganon in the first round, and I just told Ganon he could have the win. Like, I'm happy with 4th place at this point. I'm feeling a little burnt out on Yu-Gi-Oh! After having such great games. Like, not burnt out in a bad way. Not burnt out in a bad way. But, like, burnt out in a good way. Like, you know, I had some really good games. But, like, they're really, like, thinking games. And I had to really sit there and think about what I was going to do. So we just wanted to, like, have some fun playing some Final Fantasy with Blake. So I was happy taking 4th place. But then they had asked me, for the purpose of having a full-on top 4, if I'd be willing to give up my spot. And you know what? I know in my heart I made top 4. I know in my heart we went 3-1 in our 2nd week, our 3rd week. This is only our 3rd week playing Virtual World at tournaments, you guys. And we've already gone from going 2-2 to winning last week and making top 4 this week. Had I played, could I have won? Possibly. We don't know. I might have ended up taking 4th place anyway. So I said, whatever, go for it. You guys go do that. Always got to show the love for the others, you guys. I wasn't going to take the spot. I wasn't going to play in the games. Might as well give it to somebody who actually wanted to be there and finish the tournament. I had some really great games with Blake. There is one of them on on this channel. Go check it out, you guys. Thank you for coming and hanging out and listening to me jibber jabber on about Yu-Gi-Oh. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Ding the notification bell if you guys want to know when the next episode of Arrows Returns comes up or Arrows Plays. We are going to be posting a lot more Final Fantasy TCG content in the coming weeks. Dungeons with Mrs. Arrows is coming back. I know I've said this numerous times, but it is starting to get a lot cooler outside. Mrs. Arrows is feeling that Final Fantasy itch again, so we're going to put up more content for that. What I keep waving in your guys' face is a Final Fantasy TCG starter deck guide for learning how to play the game. I'm just really excited to talk about card games with you guys. So yeah, we're definitely going to Mario's this Saturday. I'm really excited for it. I'm going to play the full-on tournament, you guys. We're going to take this top four, this technical top four, and we're going to keep going with it. I'm feeling really good about Virtual Worlds. The Megatins are coming out in a couple weeks. We're going to grab us a Zeus. I'm really excited to add that to my extra deck. I'm pretty sure when we go to put Zeus in the extra deck, I'm probably going to take out either the Virtual World Jaja. Although another Virtual World player did show me a cool little trick with that and Chuche as another way to get Zeus out. We might take out the Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. I don't know, but we're going to definitely be on the lookout for that. I don't think the main deck needs to be changed at all. I think the main changes we need to make now are going to be into the side deck. And again, that's going to be coming up in the Megatins as well, because we're going to hopefully get access to Triple Tactics talent. And then Brothers of Legend brings out Forbidden Droplet. So this deck is definitely on the up and up. I'm really excited for the tins to come out. We are getting a case of them as far as I know. I'm hoping on October 1st, we're going to be doing a case opening on stream. I will keep you guys in the loop. And as always, friends, I will see you when I see you. Have a good one.